Hey there, welcome back to Chatters DIY and episode 6 in my man cave workshop build. Today I'm just basically trying to make sense of the workshop and the layout and start to get things in place. A lot of what has previously been done was where the workshop was completely empty, and I've spent a lot of energy over the last couple of days carrying everything down from the old workshop in my garage to fill this up. And look at the mess I'm in at the minute. So there you go. This is what you get when you just bring everything down in one go. Unfortunately, I didn't really have much choice in the matter because we needed the space in the garage because everything was just piled up, ready to go. At the moment, not much pool being going to be played. I've got some other old worktops on top of it at the minute just to keep it nice and protected. There's a piece of plywood covering the entire thing underneath that as well, just to be doubly sure. I've got the other tabletops over here, which I'm currently in the process of degumming. Look at the state of that. So I've got the old wallpaper scraper, getting all that off. That's what I've done so far of some of the others. Not a very nice job. However, that's the price you pay for getting a good deal on something. So the main thing I'm trying to do at the minute is set up a Mitre Saw Station. Don't worry, this thing is going. I've just placed it there just for reference. But effectively, this worktop along here I've just made by just putting some of these tabletops together. I've made doubly thick because I need a drop to make sure that this countertop is higher than this one by the thickness of the base of my new Mitre saw. So the next stage after that then is I'm going to be building the worktop to go across there. Again, just getting some of these sheets and laminate them together and then got to make a cupboard to go over here, and then there's going to be a gap at the end of the cupboard here so that I can utilise the space underneath that far corner. Probably put my air compressor and a few other bits and bobs under there. Maybe put a shelf in on this side, put some things above it then, and really utilise all the nooks and crannies. So yeah, just scraped off another one of the tops. So that was the one that I just showed you, covered in the chewing gum, and there was loads on that one. This one's got some particularly interesting artwork. Don't know if anybody from Hounsdale School recognises the underneath of that table, because someone's obviously crawled underneath and drawn that. If there'd have been any decent artwork, I'd have probably turned the boards round and covered it in varnish and displayed it, but unfortunately there wasn't. So I'm really happy to add as well that my rip fence, which has got a lock underneath, if you look, it's like one of those toggle clamps, and it just pushes up against the edge of the table and locks this edge against there at a perfect angle. There goes all the tools behind me. The toggle clamp had actually broken. Just to show you on this one, this is the old one that I've tried to reuse elsewhere, but this bit here, the arch there was actually supposed to be longer, and actually if you can see right in the middle there's a bit of a pinch point. So if you ever get one of these toggle clamps and it stops locking off, then just have a look there and have a look to see whether there's a bit of a pinch point, and basically it's just over time it's just squeezed together and lost the angle that it needed to lock. So I bought a new one. They're about £3 on Amazon and eBay, and that's rectified that problem. So while I was filming, this bad boy's just arrived. DWS 774. This is how it's come out the box. So, as I said, I've been waiting for this to arrive because I've got to get this work surface to match perfectly the height of the base and where it cuts. And look how high the bloody base has worked out. So I think I'm going to have to take the legs off the drawers, chop the ends off the legs to shorten them, because I ain't going to be able to raise the height of that work surface any longer than what I have. So that's the next job. So I've cut off 55mm from the adjustable legs. Obviously, if I'd have done the mitre saw over the gap, I could have put a shelf in it exactly whichever height I wanted, but I needed it on the end, and I also wanted to create that gap for a table that I've got on wheels, which will be useful when I've got some spraying to do. I can move the table saw over to that side of the room. I'll have a lot of room here. I can put something on there to spray with, I don't know, polyurethane or something, and you can spin the actual product, or I can walk all the way around it, and then that tucks back in there afterwards. So I wanted the drawers to be on the end, and also I've got there's an attachment for this that will secure the offcut of the wood once I've done the mitre saw in, so it won't fall off, and that's the safest way to operate the mitre saw. And if there is something longer that little device isn't going to hold on to, then I'm planning on putting like a folding wing on the end of that unit that will fold up. There'll be like a little pull out section that will support it, and then that will support longer lengths. So now I'm fanning around with the heights and the cupboard's level, and all the way across. Now what I'm doing is I'm just using this spirit level and sliding it across, and there's no interruption to that. So that's level, this is level. I can now secure the corner, put some bracing underneath that corner, and do the same at the back of here. And then I've got panels to cut and new drawer fronts to create. The drawer fronts might wait though. I might wait until I might make new drawers completely for that unit. The most important thing then, instead of doing the drawer fronts, would be to then create two units, one there, leaving a gap here, as I said before. Moving on then to those cupboards that I was making. I've got two of these, which is the base. Obviously the depth is already set at 600mm because that's the width of the boards. I've got four sides. They're 72 centimeters or 720 or tad over 720 in height when they're on their sides. These are 884 wide, which is just within what I can get on my rip fence. I can get up to about 90 centimeters, so that's worked out nice. This was another panel that was cut 884 to match, and this is two sections for the sort of the piece that goes across the back of the unit, and then there's two shorter 4-inch sections that will be like the stretcher for the top at the front, and I'll start putting them together. Right, so you get some sort of visual representation. I ain't going to be able to video sort of putting it together today, but this is the side panel. This is going to be the bottom there. This is going to be the top. That bit there goes across the back, and then this shorter piece or narrower piece is going to be there, and then between these two pieces that are standing upright, That's where the worktop will sit on top of. And then you'll see then I've got the nice, well, I say the nice, I've got the rounded edges there and there around the front. When I put the base, which is there, that will have the rounded edge as well. And then the other side will go on. I'm trying to make it as idiot proof as possible. I'm just using these corner clamps just to hold this in place, so I can double check that I've got the top of these sides marrying up with the top of these, and that the side that I don't want to look at is going to be against the worktop. And then once these are screwed in place, glued and screwed in place, then I'll turn the whole thing around and put these back pieces in that I've marked out. So I've spun it round, put the back panel in. There you go. And the front top panel, 2 stretchers. Now, there you go. So there's the one. There's the other. Bit of staining from the chewing gum, from the fresher ones or the sloppier ones. But for the use that I've got for this room, should be fine. Nice and sturdy. That rockings from the table saw. So now I've just got to put the legs on the bottom, empty all that out and get rid of the bench, and start levelling out again. And that wraps up, what, 12 hours almost, probably, give or take. I've obviously been and had a meal, but there you go. So the worktop's on. I've put the cupboards in position, messed around with the feet or the legs, put them in their places. I've just got to put an end panel on there now because I want it to go down to the floor. Probably on both ends, in fact. And I've done a little overhang on the worktop there on purpose so that I've got room to put that side panel in. The worktop will still cover over the top. Then I can put a plinth in there. Need to put an end panel on the end of that cupboard as well, again, so I can put a plinth. That end panel, oops, focus is gone, put my hand in the way. Those 2 end panels are in place, so that little sliding wheel roller table is gone in there nicely, and it's all coming together. So we're going great guns. I think the space really starts to, you can start to see it now with the table saw in the middle, workbench at the back. I didn't bother with the standalone workbench because I just thought when I saw that in that side one go in, it just looked better all matching. So when that wall unit's there, all this will get cleared off. I can sort out my drawers again. I need a bit of a clear out, to be honest. And those tubs will be utilised on the shelf, so a lot more space to work. Proper dusty day, really productive though. I'm probably going to upload at this point because that's the main part of the Mitre Saw Station built, and part of the workstation, which is probably more likely to call it than a workbench. The layouts all come together. Really impressed with how things are going. Catch me on the next episode. Chatters DIY out.